Om yogis, welcome to today's practice with the salmon. We'll start in cat-cow. So just warming up the spine here. Breathing in as you open the chest and breathing out as you round the back. As you breathe here, just start to dive your awareness into the body. As if you're a salmon diving into the water. This practice today will look at determination. We'll challenge ourselves with the asanas so that there's a little feeling of swimming upstream. And we understand that wisdom comes only through difficulty. Only through going through difficulty do we grow. You got to go through it to get to it. There's a chant, gate, gate, go beyond, the wisdom is there. Dory the fish, finding Nemo, just keep swimming, just keep going. And that's the theme for our practice today. So moving in cat-cow, diving your awareness into the body. Just set that intention now that whatever this practice throws at you, you're just going to keep going and move through it. Dive on in. Beautiful. And now we'll just take a thread the needle twist to the left. Just letting yourself dive into the breath. Letting your awareness dive into the physical sensations. And whatever you find in there, move the breath through it. Beautiful. Let's come up and take that twist to the other side. So we're swimming the breath through the sensation in the body. And as we swim through, we create space. We gain wisdom and understanding of how the body is in this moment. Beautiful. Let's come to seated when you're ready, so come out of that. Just come into a comfortable seat. Just take your left ear to your left shoulder and walk your right fingertips away from you for a neck release here. Diving the awareness and the breath into sensation. Meet yourself inside the sensation, inside your body. Through this yoga practice, we embark upon a journey of truth. The truth of the self, how we are in each moment. And then come back to center and do that on the other side. So you're taking your right ear to your right shoulder, you're walking your left fingertips away from you for a nice stretch here. Beautiful. Come back to all fours, you guys, and just press up and back, downward facing dog. It's beginning this hero's journey, really. The hero's journey to the self. Start to walk your dog. Pace yourself. Beautiful. Then narrow your dog a little bit, so walk your hands a bit nearer to your feet, and just twist your dog, so bring your left hand to your right ankle or shin for a twist here. Coming back to center, changing that twist, right hand to left ankle or shin. Diving breath and awareness into the sensation of the shape. Swimming your breath and your awareness through yourself like a salmon. Gorgeous. Come back to center when you're ready. And we're just going to shift between plank and dog. So find your own rhythm here. As you come into plank, engage your belly. Don't dump into your lower back. As you push back into dog, push right back into the backs of your legs. Then come back into dog when you're ready. We're going to bring the left foot forward for low lunge here. Keeping the fingertips on the mat, just pulse your hips. Pacing ourselves. Press back to downward facing dog when you're ready. And bring your right foot forward, pulsing the hips on the other side. Press back to downward facing dog when you're ready. Walk your dog, you guys. Beautiful. Let's walk the hands back to the feet. Bend the knees a little and start to roll up through the spine, so the shoulders and head come up last. You find yourself standing. And once you come to stand, start to roll your shoulders. Diving the breath, diving the awareness into the structure of the shoulders as it moves, as they move. And switch direction. Come back to center, bring the shoulders up towards the ears, and drop them down. Let's do this a couple more times. Shoulders up towards the ears, squeezing them up and then dropping them down. One more. Up towards the ears and then drop them down. Now just begin to shimmy out your shoulders, shake your body out in whatever way feels appropriate for you today. So any stuck sensation, any difficult sensation in your body that you felt up until this point, now's your chance to sort of shake that off of you a little bit. Shake that out of you. Let yourself be creative here. You're finding your own way back to source. This is the magic of the salmon. So find your own way back to the sources of your tension in your body and just add a little movement here. Start to shake out the sources of the tension. Release the hinge of your jaw. Release your face. And then come back to stillness, just standing here. We're going to come up onto the tiptoes and stretch the arms up as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, release that. Let's do that a few more times here. Breathing in, coming onto your tippy toes, stretching the arms up. And breathing out, lowering back to your heels. Saying hello to the feet. Breathing in as you stretch up. And breathing out as you lower down. Lovely. Separate your feet, you guys, so your feet are hip width apart. And we're going to come into a squat here, squat position. As you squat down, reach your hands ahead of you. And as you stand up, pull your fists into your waist as you rise. So squatting down, hands reach ahead of you. And as you come back to standing, fists come into the waist as you rise up. Just doing this in your own good way. We're just diving the awareness and the breath into the movement. Beautiful. When you come up to stand next time, just separate your feet a little wider and come down from Malasana, yogic squat. You can reach both hands forward, take a little stretch here. And then come back to center. And take a twist to your left. And then a twist to your right. Coming back to center, take a twist to the left again. If you can find a bind, you can do that here. Diving awareness and breath into the shape. Coming back to center when you're ready and going to the other side, binding if that's appropriate. Coming back to center when you're ready. And just letting yourself drop back onto your bottom. Just take boat pose. Navasana. We got to go through it to get to it. We understand that wisdom and experience. Wisdom comes from experience, and experience usually comes from going through the difficult things. Just keep swimming. Beautiful. From boat pose, let's take the left foot to the floor with a knee bent. Where you're going to grab the outside of your right foot with your left hand and extend this into a twist so your right hand comes behind you. Breathing, diving your awareness into the sensation. Gorgeous. Let's swap that over. So grabbing the outside of your left foot with your right hand now. Extend your left foot. And reach your left hand behind you for a twist. Gorgeous. Come back to center and come back to boat pose. Appropriate really to be on a boat when we're working with the magic of the salmon. I'm not fishing for just shut up, Julie. That'll do. Okay, let's come from boat pose. Let's come back to cat-cow. Beautiful. And then from cat-cow, let's come back into that thread the needle twist. So just drop down to your left side. And from this twist here, you can start to bind. If you know the bind there. So we're bringing your top leg over to your extended wrist. And you can just play here and then come back to center. And doing thread the needle on the other side, just playing with any binds that you might know or just changing the position here. Moving as appropriate to the sensations in your body. Coming back to center, back to cat-cow. And then dropping down for a cat stretch here. Just keep swimming. Coming up from that stretch onto all fours. And now reach your opposite arm and leg away from each other. Pull them back to center and re-extend here. So you're bringing opposite knee to opposite elbow and then re-extending. Adding a ton of breath. Diving the awareness into the sensations, into the difficulties. And then when you're ready, swapping that over. So we're doing the same thing on the other arm and the other leg. Reaching long and diving in. Feeling the journey stretch out ahead of you. And as you bring elbow to knee, dive your intention into that journey with determination. The journey of your practice from start to end. We're using this journey just to replicate the journey of the salmon, the magic of the salmon. Come back to center, push back to downward facing dog, you guys. Let's bring the left foot forward for a low lunge again. But this time we're going to twist towards the bent knee and open up your top arm. Beautiful. Push back to downward facing dog and swap that over. The right foot is coming forward. And we're going to twist towards the bent knee, opening up the top arm. Swimming your breath and your awareness through this practice. Push back to downward facing dog. And now we're going to walk the feet towards the hands. When you reach the top of your mat, inhale halfway. Exhale, fold on in. And then come up to stand again. Let's start to shake out the body again. So we're dropping the awareness and the breath into the body, and we're feeling these areas where we might be holding tension and just using the practice to shake that out. Going to the source of our tensions through this practice in much the same way that the salmon goes to the source, the place of its birth through the ocean. I'll say anything, as you know, to make things fit. Okay, lovelies. Keep shaking here. Shake out anything that you might find that might feel like just held unnecessary tensions. Something that's blocking you from the wisdom of yourself. Just swim through it, keep swimming, or in this instance, shake through it. Lovely. Come back to stillness. Start to hug your shoulders up to your ears again and drop them back down. Let's do this a few more times, hugging the shoulders up and dropping the shoulders down and into the back. Beautiful. We're going to take the arms wide to shoulder height as you inhale, and as you exhale, squat down again, dive your arms forward and look in. Inhale, come on up, look out, arms wide. Exhale, dive in, looking in. So we're squatting, the arms come wide as we stand up, and go forward as we exhale, squatting in. Just doing this on your own, to your own rhythm. And come back to standing. Take the arms above the head, inhale. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, come back to plank. Lower to the ground, chaturanga, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. You got to go through it to get to it. So every time we practice, we go through something, and it takes us forward on our journey. Beautiful. Let's bring the left foot forward for low lunge again, but this time we're going to take the hands high. And now sit back for Ardha Hanumanasana half split here. Adding a ton of breath, diving the awareness into this posture. Journeying through the practice. When you're ready, come on up and out of that and push back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we bring the right foot forward, come into a low lunge, the back knee is down, the hands are extended. Adding a ton of breath, just keep swimming. And then when you're ready, sit back for Ardha Hanumanasana on the other side, diving the awareness into the sensation within the shape. And then from here, you guys come on up and push back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog now, let's shift forward into plank. Bring your left knee in towards your left forearm or your right forearm, whatever feels good for your body today. And then push back to downward facing dog. Open this up, come into three-legged dog here. Let's swap that over, so swapping sides, coming forward to plank, bringing the knee into the forearm of either leg, either arm. And then press back, open it up, three-legged dog. Beautiful. Back to downward facing dog. Shift forward to plank. Come down, chaturanga. Let's take cobra here, starting with a baby cobra. And exhale, release that. Then inhale, regular cobra. Exhale, release that, fingertips to the mat. Let's come into a scary cobra. Inhale here, open it up. Open up your chest, curl your chest open. And exhale, release that. Push back to downward facing dog when you're ready. Just keep swimming. Walking your hands back to your feet now. Let's hold the toes. And come into forward fold. We're just going to bend and stretch the legs. So let it walk, really. Let it move. Pace yourself for this journey of the practice today. And Salmon holds this quality of determination to keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. So in this place now, completely forget about everything you've done already and just move forward. Move forward. It's quite a good ethos to have, not only in physical practice of yoga, but in all areas of life, really. Sometimes we spend way too much time going back over things. Just keep swimming. You can add on to this bendy, stretchy fold by bending your left knee and reaching your right arm up for a twist. And doing that on the other side. So as you bend your right knee, you reach your left arm up for a twist. Just swimming through this forward fold. Beautiful. From here, let's come back into dog, downward facing dog. Gorgeous. And shift forward for plank. We're just going to hold plank through a few breaths here. And usually when I'm holding plank, I will be looking straight down, so not to put any excess pressure on my neck. But just for today, let's look forward. Let's keep looking forward, keep moving forward. We've got to go through it to get to it, on to the next thing. It's coming, it's coming. Just keep swimming, just keep going. Well done. From plank, let's lower to the ground. And we'll take those 3 cobras again. So starting with baby cobra, inhaling, just coming up using the strength of your back, the strength of your legs, diving the tailbone down and in. And then exhale, release that. Inhale, regular cobra. Exhale, release that. And then come into that scary cobra again. Inhaling. Exhale, release that. Back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, let's just drop to child's pose. Take your arms over to the left for a little side stretch here. Back to center and over to the right for a little side stretch here. Back to child's pose. Going forward, moving through, go beyond, go beyond. The wisdom is there. This is the magic of the salmon. Keeping us on track, keeping us moving forward through this journey of determination. Okay, from child's pose, let's push back into downward facing dog. And let's bring the left foot forward, come into a high lunge here. And from here we'll take a twist, taking the right elbow to the left knee. Beautiful. Coming back to the mat. Through a vinyasa. And back to downward facing dog. Doing the same thing on the other side. Let's bring the right foot forward. High lunge. And now bring the left elbow to the left knee or left thigh and twist here. Breathe deep into the sensation, swimming through the practice, diving into the breath, diving into sensation within the body, and then coming back to the mat, moving through a vinyasa, back to downward facing dog. Let's shift the body forward into plank, just holding your plank here. Be determined, embody that salmon magic. There's such a small little creature that has such big determination to keep swimming upstream, keep going back to source. Understand that wisdom comes through difficulty, through swimming upstream. We go through it to get to it. Beautiful. Now come down to the floor. Let's take baby cobra. Release that. Next up we take a regular cobra. Releasing that. Coming into that scary cobra on the fingertips. And then pushing back to downward facing dog. We go forward. The wisdom is there. We go beyond. We go through. The wisdom is there. We just keep swimming. Let's bend both knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, front of mat. Your feet coming to your hands. Let's stand on your hands now. And standing on your hands, bend your knees if you need to. Let's inhale halfway as best we can. And exhale, fold on in. Just keep swimming. Diving your awareness into your breath. Swimming your awareness through sensation. Moving the body through the journey of the practice. Beautiful. Let's release the hands now. Place them on the hips and gently come up to stand when you're ready. Gorgeous. We're going to pick up your left knee and see if you can hook onto your left toe. Fix your gaze so you can balance here, bringing the leg forward. As best you can. If you fall out, don't worry, just stop and come back in, dive back into the waters of your practice. When you're ready, take that leg wide to the left. Breathing here. And then coming back to center. Keeping the leg raised, bend the knee of your raised leg a little bit and take the outer edge of your foot. So this would be your left foot in your right hand and open it up for a twist. We've done this before in Navasana. We're just doing this standing now. Beautiful. Release that and come back to standing. Like I say, if you fall out, just fall out and come back in. It's like jumping back into the water. Don't lose the flow of your practice. Don't stay out for too long. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to hold the right toe and balance here. You can hold the knee if it's too difficult to hold the toe. Now take the leg wide to the right and just breathe here. It's testing your balance today. Beautiful. Let's come back to center. Bend that knee a little bit and take the outer edge of your right foot in your left hand, I believe, and open that up for a twist, reaching back with, is it your right hand or your left hand? With the hand that's not bound. You'll know it better than I do. Beautiful. Release that. Come back to stand. Inhale, lift your arms up. And as you exhale, fall forward. Let's take the left foot back for a low lunge. And then come into plank. Lower to the ground, take baby cobra. Release that regular cobra. Release that scary cobra. Release that downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, front of mat. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold on in. Now let's take the right foot back for that same low lunge. From here, come into plank. From plank, lower to the ground. Taking baby cobra. Regular cobra. Scary cobra. And downward facing dog. Beautiful. From downward facing dog, let's take the left foot forward into low lunge again. But let's twist here. And come back to downward facing dog. The right foot comes forward. And we twist here and low lunge with the back knee down. Downward facing dog when you're ready. Bring your left foot forward again. Keep your right hand to the floor, left arm up. Let's twist here. And you can raise the back knee. Come back into downward facing dog. We're bringing the right foot forward, bringing the left hand to the ground, reaching the right arm up, twisting here, raise the back knee if you like. Gorgeous, come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, front of mat. And stay in a squat, come into Utkatasana. And twist to the left in Utkatasana. And twist to the right in your own time. Just keep this going, twisting left and twisting right a few times, trusting your sense of direction like that salmon. Coming back to center when you're ready. Let's fold forward. Come back to plank. Lower to the ground. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, regular cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, scary cobra. Exhale, release, downward facing dog. Bring your left foot forward. Let's come into warrior one. Open that up, warrior two. Windmill the arms down to the mat. Come back to downward facing dog. Bring your right foot forward. Come into warrior one. Open that up, warrior two. And windmill the arms back to the mat, downward facing dog. Let's bring the left foot forward. Come back into warrior one. Open that up, warrior two. And then turn the feet wide along the right long side of your mat. Come into wide-legged fold. Beautiful. Bring your left hand underneath your face. Open up right side, twisting here. And swap that over, twisting the other way. Walk your hands back to the front of your mat. And vinyasa to downward facing dog. Beautiful. From downward facing dog, let's bring the right foot forward. Come into warrior one. Open that up, warrior two. Turn your feet wide along the left long side of your mat. Come into a wide-legged fold. And you can stay in the center or you can take that twist again. Walk your hands back to the front of the mat. Let's vinyasa to dog. Let's bring the left foot forward again. And turn to face the long side of your mat, the right long side of your mat. We're coming into goddess from here, so bending the knees, heels in, toes out. Bringing your forearms to your inner thighs. Let's drop your shoulders in one at a time. So you're sort of twisting here more through the upper body. It's like you're just dropping your heart one side at a time into a reservoir of wisdom through this pose. Trusting our sense of direction, trusting this is just a journey. If we fall out, we can get back on the path and we can keep going. It's okay. Lovely. Coming back to the mat now. That's vinyasa from here to downward facing dog. Sorry, a bit of an awkward transition, but that's okay. We have to encounter these awkward things as we move through the journey of our practice. From downward facing dog, let's come back into a squat position. And let's just twist both ways from that squat position here. Beautiful. Let's fold here, fold forward. Rest a second. And we'll take a twist here in that fold, bending the opposite knee as you lift your top arm up. Twisting to both sides in your own time. Going through it to get to it. Let's come back to center. Rise on up to stand. And let's come into tree with the right foot raised. Okay, let's come out of that. Keep the foot flexed, keep the foot up, the right foot up, and bring it above the left knee. So you're in like a pigeon shape here. And see if you can come into a little squat, bringing your hands into prayer. There's an option to twist here. You can bring the opposite elbow towards the sole of your raised foot. Or not. Completely up to you. If you fall back out, just dive straight back on in. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release that. Fold on through. Take a second here. Twisting one way and then the other if that feels good for your body, or just staying in the fold. On your next inhale, rise on up to stand. And come into tree with your left foot raised. Now release the tree, keeping the left foot raised. Keep the foot flexed as you bring it above the right knee. We keep the flexion in the foot to protect the knee. And this makes a pigeon shape. We squat down here, bringing the hands into prayer. Remembering there is an option to twist, opposite elbow can come to the sole of the raised foot or thereabouts, if that's in your repertoire today. If it is, if it isn't, it's all part of the journey. Beautiful. Coming out of that, when you're ready, come back to stand. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, fold on in. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, back to plank. From plank, that's vinyasa to downward facing dog. Beautiful. From downward facing dog, let's take Vashisthasana or side plank. You can take whatever version of this your body wants today. So you can keep the bottom knee to the floor if you like, or come straight on up. And we can take tree here again, if that feels appropriate. And we could also revisit the binding of the big toe and extending the leg open. We've done this already standing up. We're just revisiting, moving through, moving forward. Gorgeous. From here, let's come back to downward facing dog. Stretch it all out. And take Vashisthasana on the other side. Whichever version is appropriate for you today. Playing around with the idea of taking tree, hooking the big toe if appropriate, extending and opening top leg if appropriate. If you fall out, recover, dive back in. Beautiful. Come back to plank. Lower to the ground. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Drop down to your knees, take child's pose for a second. Let's make fists behind you and lift your palms are up towards the ceiling. Lift your knuckles away from the floor just to stretch out your wrists. Beautiful. Let's come to a kneeling pose here. Interlace your fingers and make a wave like a 1980s body popper, going both ways, just to stretch out your wrists a little further. Using the body to remind us of the salmon, remind us of the water, remind us of that dynamic, upward swimming motion that the salmon masters so well in order to get back to source, to complete the journey. Lovely. From here, let's come into Sphinx pose and rest a little here. And Sphinx takes us into forearm plank, unforgivingly. Just keep swimming, you guys. Keep that determination of spirit. And then press back, child's pose. From child's pose, let's walk the hands over to the left for a side stretch. And walk the hands over to the right. Coming back to center, just rest here for a few moments. Beautiful. From child's pose, let's come onto all fours. Extend your left leg behind you and take it over to the right. And now look over your right shoulder for a side stretch. So you're looking back towards your extended leg. Dive your awareness into your breath. Dive your breath into your body. Dive your body into your practice. Paying tribute to this determination, this determined journey of truth. That is a yoga practice. Let's do that to the other side. Beautiful. Coming back to center, bringing both feet together. Kickstand your feet over to the other side now, both feet. And just lift the top of the body up for a version of Vashisthasana here. Opening the top half of your body up. And now use your top hand to grab your raised foot. So you're in a floating or flying bow pose here. Imagine yourself the salmon sort of hurtling and throwing itself out of the water. And take a deeper breath here. Release that. Kickstand your feet to the other side. Rise on up for that Vashisthasana variation. Then take that floating half bow here. Feeling yourself sort of flying, sort of floating, lifting up and out. Beautiful. Coming back now, come down, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Lowering to your tummy, and then let's take bow pose here. So reach back, bend your knees, reach back for your ankles or feet. As you inhale, open up your bow. As you exhale, release. As you inhale, open it up. And as you exhale, release. Just do this a few times on your own, playing with both poses. Then when you're ready, pressing back, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we'll take the left foot forward, come into warrior one. Open that up, warrior two. From warrior two, let's take reverse warrior. Stay in reverse warrior, just straighten out your front leg for a big old stretch here. And from that big stretch, let's come into triangle pose. From triangle pose, another awkward transition, but we'll go with it. Let's come into a low lunge. Little bumps in the road as we go. And then from low lunge, let's come back into downward facing dog. Just keep swimming. Bringing the right foot forward now, warrior one. Open that up, warrior two. Reverse warrior when you're ready. Straighten the front leg and stretch. You've got to go through it to get to it. Coming into triangle when you're ready. Little bump in the road on our journey brings us from triangle to that low lunge. From low lunge, let's come into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we'll bring the left foot forward about three-quarters of the way towards your hands. So you're coming up from here into quite a narrow version of warrior one. Square off your hips here towards the front of your mat and take your arms wide. And you can take your left foot over to the left a little bit so you're really getting your hips nice and square before you begin. The arms are wide and we're going to twist, bringing the right hand towards the left foot. So it's a revolved warrior here. Hopefully I'm getting my rights and my lefts okay. We'll see how it goes. Beautiful. From that revolved warrior, I'm not sure if I mean revolved triangle, but you'll know. It's all part of the journey. From that revolved position anyway, let's come up to stand. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, back to plank. Lower to the mat. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're going to bring the right foot three-quarters of the way through. Coming into a narrow version of warrior one, squaring the hips off, taking the right foot to the right if you need to give yourself more room. The arms go wide. We're going to twist, bringing the left hand towards the right foot, I believed. For it's a revolved triangle. Or a warrior if you like, but it is a revolved triangle. Breathing here. Diving your awareness into your breath, diving your breath into your body, taking your body through the practice. Noticing the little bumps in the road, the little places where I might give you an incorrect direction, but you can follow your own internal compass, which is way more reliable than anything I'd ever say anyway. Let's come out of that now. Come back to stand. Let's inhale, lift the arms, coming to the front of the mat. Exhale, fold on in. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, lower to the ground. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to bring your left foot forward in a second for pigeon, so just prepare to do that, and then when you're ready, let's do it. And you have the option here to take hold of your back foot in whatever way works, for mermaid or a version of mermaid here. Just keep swimming. Beautiful. Release that and come back into downward facing dog. Then in your own time, the right foot is coming forward into pigeon. And you can just take pigeon if you like, or you can hold your back foot for a version of mermaid, just swimming through your practice. Beautiful. Push back, downward facing dog. Let's bring the left foot forward again into that pigeon pose. And from here, we're going to bring the back leg forward, crossing it over the left. The sole of the foot will come to the floor for a half spinal twist towards your raised knee. If that is possible. If not, let's come into half spinal twist. Now, keeping a sense of humour as well as trusting your own internal compass here, we're going to bring both hands to the floor and we're going to gently lift the hips, come out of that twist first, but leave the legs where they are, Both hands come to the floor, we lift the hips and we take a little walk. We walk the hands around us in a circle. The rest of the body should naturally follow if we let it. If we trust our sense of direction, this should bring us into that same twist on the other side. We're playing with our internal compass, we're playing with our sense of direction in just to honor that spirit of the salmon. If you got lost, don't worry, just dive straight back on in. Gorgeous. Now we're going to take the raised leg back behind us now, and this should bring us into pigeon on the other side. And from pigeon, let's come back into downward facing dog. Hopefully we've not tied ourselves up in too much of a knot at this point. And if we have, this is the opportunity to stretch all of that out, you guys. From downward facing dog, let's jump forward to sit. Let's come into Janu Shasasana A. Your right foot is forward, left knee is bent. Beautiful. Inhale, rise halfway up, lift your heart, and exhale, come out of that. Swapping the legs, just come back in on the other side. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, come on out of that. Let's come into Navasana. We've been here before. From Navasana, let's come into Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. Just keep swimming, moving forward, moving through. From Baddha Konasana, let's come into straddle pose or Upavishta Konasana. From Upavishta Konasana, let's come back into Baddha Konasana. We've been here before. Quite often we can feel we are back where we started, but that's never really true. We're always different the second, the third, the fourth time around. Our understanding deepens with the repetition. Our sense of direction is good. So never feel that you've gone back to square one, because in truth that is impossible. We're always different. Every day a different body. We're always changing and growing. So we come back in from a different perspective each time. Let's come back to Navasana. Our sense of direction is good. Our internal compass is true. Feel your internal compass now in your core as you work here. Engage your core. From Navasana, let's come down to Ardha Navasana halfway. And then lift back up, Navasana. Let's do that a couple more times. Ardha Navasana. Navasana. And let's take Ardha Navasana now, lowering slowly, slowly, slowly to the floor. Beautiful. Grab your block, you guys. Let's come into supported bridge. The river of our practice. Let's make a bridge over that. Let's get over it. Get over all those boats with our bridge pose here. And if you're feeling especially energetic today, you can feel really welcome to push up into full wheel, or take one leg up into the air or the other leg up into the air. Completely up to you. Or you can just rest here. Gorgeous. And then wherever you are, let's lower to the ground. Take the block away, unravel through your spine. Raise your knees towards your chest and just come into a supine twist, knees going to the left. When you're ready, knees come back to center and over to the right. Back to center when you're ready. Let's just rock a little backwards and forwards along the spine, and maybe rock all the way up to seated, coming into Paschimottanasana, forward fold here. Let your knees be nice and soft though, don't over push it. Try to breathe into the back body. Dive your awareness into your breath. Dive your breath into the pose. Let the body take you through the practice. Beautiful. Let's inhale halfway. Exhale, come on out, and then come back for shoulder stand here. If shoulder stand doesn't feel like something you want to do today, you can always take your legs up the wall or do shoulder stand on a block. Just keep swimming. And whatever it is you're doing, we need to be really careful as we practice that we keep diving back in. We keep diving back in, because when we drop out for too long and we drop our energy out of the practice, we have to pick that back up again to get back into it. So whatever happens for you during this or any other future practice, remind yourself of that. That is the quality of the salmon, that quality of determination to keep throwing himself back into the water, back over those rocks, jumping upstream. And this is kind of where we're heading with this practice. This is the quality we're hoping to embody through this practice. So from your shoulder stand, let's come into plow. And you might even want to bring your knees around your ears. I think this is called Kanapidasana, if memory serves me well. But knees around the ears or plow is fine. Then from plow pose, just bring your hands to the mat and create a little break with your hands. As you lower slowly to the ground, take a very slow exit out of your shoulder stand sequence here today. And when you find your way to the ground, let's come into fish pose. Breathe here, open your chest, open your heart, be proud in your chest, you made it. You are the salmon, you have swam and you have strived, and now you're here. So be proud and breathe deep. Embody this determined little character, this amazing creature that somehow finds its way from the ocean to these little places at the tops of these streams where it was once born, back to source, has this incredible internal compass, this incredible spirit of determination, this incredible taste for the journey. Release your fish, you guys. Bring your hands behind your head, and you can take a little counter stretch for the neck here, just dropping the weight of the head back into your arms. Beautiful. Release that. Let's rock along the spine again. Bring the knees into the chest. You can rock side to side and just come up to seated, or you can rock along your spine. For just one more lift up in honor of the salmon. We think about the salmon hurling itself upstream. Let's plant the hands. Let's lift the hips. Come into Utplitihi. If you know it, we're just lifting the hips, staring determinedly forward. Breathing deep here. You made it. And then let's exhale, release that. Just sit here and be still. Let that stillness take you into the currents and deep waters of the self. Know that the wisdom is there. This is where we're going with the salmon, back to source. Back to where it all begins. From here, you guys, you can drop down for Shavasana. Let yourself sink, relax, sinking and sinking into the floor, letting go. After that epic journey of another yoga practice, well done, you made it. Sinking and relaxing, just keep going beyond. Every time you let go again. Go beyond. The wisdom is there. Gate parasamgate bodhi swaha. Beyond, go beyond, far beyond. The wisdom is there. Keep going. Swimming with the salmon, back to source. Relax. Gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhi swaha. 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 Gate, Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Paramgate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha